Hey there, film folks. I'm Benjamin, I'm Benji, and I'm Ben. And this is Three Indistinguishable Guys Talking About Movies, an auditory safe space for those who've been shunned from society simply because their takes were too spicy. We're getting a little meta this week as we discuss not just movies, but the ways we classify them. Does your movie have a monster in it? Then maybe it's a horror movie. Is there some fighting? Maybe it's an action movie. But what if your Dracula dual wields Uzis? What then, smarty pants? Your tidy classification system has failed you. The world no longer makes sense. You flee civilized society and retreat to a cabin in the woods where your only friend is the bear that eventually eats you. Benjamin, when we brought up this topic, the first thing that came to mind was the discourse around the Jordan Peele movie Get Out. I remember my timeline blowing up as people debated whether it was a straight-up horror movie or more of a thriller. Personally, I think the movie had lots of thrills, but to be a real horror movie, you need both thrills and chills. The chill quotient wasn't high enough to break through the horror threshold. Therefore, it's a thriller that liberally utilizes the tropes of horror to tell its story. I would firmly classify it as horror if it had like a racist goblin or even just a privileged Frankenstein with racial blind spots. You make some great points, Benji. Lots of perspectives I've never considered, and here's the space where the listener has tuned out and is now offering their perspective out loud to no one in particular while not paying enough attention to realize that they just missed 15 minutes of the podcast and have no idea what's going on anymore. Oh no, they're back, and that's why I consider The Rise of Skywalker a slapstick comedy that owes a lot of its best plot points to the films of the Three Stooges. You know, guys, this all got me thinking not just about genres, but sequels. There are a lot of pretty clear-cut part twos, but what about the less defined follow-ups? Is For a Few Dollars More an actual sequel to Fistful of Dollars, or is it more like a theater repertory company where the same cast members switch roles every performance? For a Few Dollars More and its follow-up The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly both feel like Leone was riffing on an idea that began with Fistful of Dollars, but isn't necessarily a continuation. Do you think the listeners ranting to themselves after that? Oh yeah, they're screaming some bullshit about spiritual sequels at their dogs right now. Oh great, we can relax. Oh yeah, smoke them if you got them, boys. You guys see the stock market today? Nah. Nope. Yeah, neither did I. But I like to imagine that it is up. Yeah. That's nice. All right, well, the listener's dog is just about terrified right now. You guys mind if we just jump to the midpoint of a completely different topic already in progress? By all means. Cool. And as we've seen with the rise of self-reflective sequels, the so-called Lega sequels like The Matrix Resurrections or Scream 5, we're seeing something revolutionary in that they're a hybrid of film and film criticism, movies that function as their own YouTube video essays. It's just a shame that HBO Max doesn't let me contribute to the conversation by leaving a comment like the number 8, followed by a series of equal signs, and then the letter D. Fair point, but getting back to the topic of genre... Hey! What was that? I don't know. Hey, guys, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, what is going on? Who are you, and how and why are you barging into the podcast?
Okay, this is weird. I understand. I was listening, and I was giving my side of the conversation to no one in particular when I guess my rage force projected me into the podcast. I don't know.
We're recording this on January 15th. When are you talking right now?
March 22nd. I got a backlog. Look, I'm really happy I got through so I can tell you guys that genre is just like a construct, man. Like, who cares about how we classify movies? All these walls we make, they're just illusions. They're just little prisons we put movies into and then get mad at when they try to break out and become something more.
Right. So your whole point is that nothing is real, man?
I mean, I shattered the laws of metaphysics and audio engineering just to tell you that, so yeah, I think so.
It's a good point. You want to talk about it a little bit more in depth?
No, I'll take my answer off the air.
Did he ask a question? He did not. Well, to wrap up this episode, I've had a change of heart. I've seen the light. I'm siding with the interrupting podcast ghost. Nothing means anything and nothing exists. But just because nothing is real doesn't mean we don't have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Patreon you can contribute to help fund this and all the other shows on the Inaudible Podcast Network. You can find us on Twitter at InaudibleCast, and the Patreon is patreon.com/inaudiblepod. We'll see you all next week, everybody.